So what happens when a huge, anticipated game launch kinda goes wrong? A lot of developers would probably just push through, right? But today, we're talking about a team that did the exact opposite. They actually hit the pause button, listened to their players, and completely turned their game around. This is the amazing comeback story of GreedFall 2 and how it became GreedFall: The Dying World.
And it all kicks off with this quote right here. I mean, how often do you see a game studio be this honest? This wasn't just them saying, oops, this was a promise. This one sentence was the starting gun for one of the biggest turnarounds in gaming we've seen in a long time. It started a really tough, but in the end, game-changing year.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Picture this. It's 2025. The game's early access launch, well, it doesn't just stumble. It really fails to hit the mark for pretty much anyone. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of just trying to patch a sinking ship, they did something radical. They just stopped. Everything.
Now you gotta understand, pausing a development roadmap, that's a huge deal. You're basically telling your players, hey, all that new stuff we promised, it's on hold. But what it really showed was this deep commitment to getting the core of the game right. They chose to stop, listen, and rebuild from scratch instead of just piling more stuff on a shaky foundation.
And that decision, it was a total turning point. It kicked off this whole new phase, one that was driven from the ground up by what players were saying. The goal wasn't just to follow some internal plan anymore. Nope. It was to literally reshape the game into what the community wanted it to be. And let me tell you, that is a massive undertaking.
So, how'd they actually do it? Well, it all came down to two major updates. And listen, we're not talking about your typical bug fixes or minor patches here. No way. These were massive, fundamental overhauls that were designed to tackle every single major criticism and start winning back that player trust.
And just look at everything they tackled here. It's wild. This wasn't just a tweak here and there. First off, brand new content. They pushed the main quest forward with new areas to explore, new companions. Then there's the combat, a total overhaul, making it way smoother, more dynamic, and they added that lock-on system everyone was asking for. The whole look of the game got an upgrade, from the UI to the actual environments. And on top of all that, they added deeper ways to customize your playstyle and even a full-on photo mode. This was a true top-to-bottom rebuild.
So, the big question is, did it work? Oh yeah, it absolutely did. The developers themselves said they saw the player response start to shift, slowly but surely. The vibe turned positive. This whole cycle of listening, acting on the feedback, and then seeing that positive response, it was all the proof they needed that hitting the brakes was the right call.
So, with the game being so different, almost a new game entirely, that old name just didn't feel right anymore, did it? The next step in this whole journey was a symbolic one, but a really, really important one, giving it a new identity that actually matched the new experience.
The game was basically reborn, right? So it needed a name to match. They dropped GreedFall 2 and officially became GreedFall: The Dying World. And getting rid of that 2 was a really smart, deliberate move. It's a signal that this isn't just a simple sequel, it's its own thing with its own story to tell in this universe.
At the end of the day, the developers realized that 2 was just confusing. This isn't your classic sequel. It's set in that same awesome GreedFall universe we all love, but it's built to be its own standalone story. The new title, The Dying World, just fits so much better. It totally nails the game's new identity.
Okay, so they've rebuilt the game, they've rebranded it. The obvious question now is, what's next? What's on the horizon?
Well, the developers have actually given us a pretty clear look at what's coming up.
All right, let's talk about the road to 2026, because this is the final stretch. The team has been super clear about the path it's going to take this game from where it is now all the way to its full official launch. Okay, so get your calendars out, because here's what you need to know. Coming up this December, the new title officially hits Steam and all the social media channels. But January 2026, that's the one to watch. That's when we're getting a huge announcement about the final release date. It is super clear that 2026 is going to be a massive year for this incredible comeback story.
And through this whole entire process, the developers have made one thing crystal clear. None of this, and I mean none of it, would have been possible without the players. Every single person who took the time to write up feedback or send in a bug report had a real, direct hand in making this game's redemption happen.
So here we are, after a really rocky start, a super brave pivot, and a rebuild literally powered by its own community. The game is reborn.
And really, there's only one question left to ask. Is this new world, this dying world, going to be worth the wait?